Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yamuna Tira Vanari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Madhava Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Hare Shri Ashta Srimat is divine grace. Abhay Vedam Shri Visadhar Shivasadi Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is from the chapter 12, text 3 to 4. Chapter 12, text 3 to 4. Yastva aksharamanirdesyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha kutastam achalam dhruvam sanniyamendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mam eva sarvabhutahite ratah. Text 5. Klesho adhik तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवाग्भीत् अवाप्यते. And persons who are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service to the Lord, are called Bhakti yogis. Now, here the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is definitely expressed. The process of Jnana Yoga, although ultimately bringing one to the same goal, is very troublesome, whereas the path of Bhakti Yoga, the process of being in direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. The individual soul is embodied since time immemorial. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Therefore, the Bhakti Yogi accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind, which can thus be applied. Of course, worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form within the temple is not idol worship. There is evidence in the Vedic literatures that worship may be saguna or nirguna of the Supreme possessing or not possessing attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, for the Lord is represented by material qualities. But the form of the Lord, though represented by material qualities such as stone, wood, or oil paint is not necessarily actually material. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. A crude example may be given here. We may find some mailboxes on the street, and if we post our letters in those boxes, they will naturally go to their destination without difficulty. But any old box or an imitation which we may find somewhere but which is not authorized by the post office will not do the work. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form, which is called Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form. The Lord is omnipotent, all powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the services of the devotee just to make it convenient for the man in conditioned life. So, for a devotee, there is no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and directly. But for those who are following the impersonal way to spiritual realization, the path is difficult. They have to understand the unmanifested representation of the Supreme through such Vedic literatures as the Upanishads, and they have to learn the language, understand the non-perceptual feelings, and realize all these processes. This is not very easy for a common man. A person in Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service, simply by the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, simply by offering regulative obeisances unto the deity, simply by hearing the glories of the Lord, and simply by eating the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the Lord, realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very easily. There is no doubt that the impersonalists are unnecessarily taking a troublesome path and the risk of not realizing the absolute truth at the ultimate end. The personalist, without any risk, trouble, or difficulty, approaches the Supreme Personality directly. A similar passage appears in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated there that if one ultimately has to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this surrendering process is called Bhakti, but instead takes the trouble to understand what is Brahman, what is not Brahman, and spends his whole life in that way, the result is simply troublesome. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of self-realization because there is uncertainty in the ultimate result. Om Tat Sat. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome to everybody. We are fortunately seated at the lotus feet of Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra Devi ki and Srila Prabhupada on this nice pleasant evening. Here in the Bhagavad Gita, this is the 12th chapter. That is the last of the chapters to do in the center of the Bhagavad Gita. 18 chapters, if you divide it into 3, 6, 6, 6. It's like a sandwich. The first 6 chapters and the last 6 chapters in between the 6 chapters. In between the 6 chapters is all the real masala and nice things. And the top is the 2 layers. It is mentioned that it is like Karma Yoga on the top, Jnana Yoga in the bottom, in between Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is protected by these 2. This is the real essence of the Gita. So in the middle 6 chapters, from 7th chapter onwards, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, Krishna gives a great secret the confidential secret. Of course, he summarizes also in the 18th chapter. 18th chapter is a summarization of everything. But here in the 12th chapter, Arjuna's question, which is better to approach the supreme absolute truth, the Lord, whether the impersonal way of the unmanifested or direct relationship with the supreme. So undoubtedly Krishna says, Klesho adhikataras tesham avyaktihi gatir dukkham. He uses the word dukkham. Dukkham means miserable, troublesome, very difficult. So the Vedas contain this information, confidential information about the personality of Godhead. God is a person. This is a secret, confidential information given in the Vedas. The same secret, confidential information Krishna is giving in the Bhagavad Gita. He is presenting himself as a person. And I am the Supreme. That also he is saying. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, the Lord of all the worlds. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Sukhridam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the well-wisher, I am the good friend of all Atmas. Nyatmamam Shantim Richati. If you get to know this, you will become peaceful. Relating with God as a person. Just like you are a person, you relate with others, you have many relationships. If you relate with God also as a person, you will immediately become happy. The fault and the problem is most people don't understand this. When they are in material world, when they are embodied by matter, it's difficult to understand God as a person, especially by simply reading on your own. That is why it is necessary to have a guru who is a personalist, who is a devotee, bhakta. Here Prabhupada is describing the Gyani and the Bhakta. The Gyani is mostly impersonalist, who thinks about the Supreme as not being a person. He can only see the impersonal feature of the Supreme. He cannot see the personal feature. It's like if your boss is you're working under the MD. Every day you see him in the office as managing director. Every day you see him, sir, what shall I do? Did do this, do this, do that, do that. He gives you instructions, company, profits, this thing, that thing. They are discussing all the time. And if you keep looking at him only like that and relating with this, after some time, it's not possible to have a relationship with him. That is why sometimes he will call you home. Sometimes he will throw a party to everybody. And he will show his other side as a person. How are you? And he will talk, oh, your child, how are you, where are you working, where you are studying? Then you get to see, my boss is a nice person here. Hare, he has also got a wife. He has also got 2 children. My children and his children meet together. My wife and his wife meet together. He sits and talks to me about your house, what you're doing, your grandfather, your house, that, your village. Completely different. You see him as a person. That time you like that side of him. But when you get to the office, he will say, did you do that? I asked you to do. That side you may not like very much. Isn't it? It's natural. It's natural. So, the impersonal feature of that person, when he becomes managing director, sort of impersonal, is difficult, not easy for us. But the personal feature is more natural, and that is where you see really the personality and experience it. I'm giving a crude example. Similarly, God describes himself in Bhagavad Gita that I am the Supreme, everything comes from me. All this he says because Arjuna is asking questions. But he also says, Manmana bhava madbhaktah madhyaji mam namaskuru. Become my devoted person. We both can enjoy a personal relationship. Actually, that is me. I am looking forward to a relationship with you. That is personality. So in the Vedas, you will see these two methods. For a Gyani, he will land up in this impersonal idea through his study of the Upanishads. But for a devotee, he will cross that and see the personality of the Lord. So here Arjuna is asking the question, which is better? And Krishna is saying, Mayyavesha manoyemam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetha teme yuktattvamo matah. Uttama, better, the best thing is that person who worships me personally, develops a relationship with me. Uttama matah. Matah means my opinion. Krishna's opinion is telling is my devotee is the topmost. He develops a relationship with me, right? So today is Ramanuja Acharya's appearance day. It is Ramanuja Jayanti. It's a very nice instance in Ramanuja Acharya's life. As a very young student, he's a son of Somayaji, Keshava Somayaji and Kantimati. Sri Perumbudur, you can see his birthplace. And he, when he was 7 years old, he was given Upanayanam and he was admitted into the Gurukula. But this Guru, Yadava Prakasha, he was an impersonalist Gyani type of a person. He's studying the Vedas, great scholar, but his interpretation was very impersonal. And many times Ramanuja will find it difficult, but how can it be that the Supreme is not a person? Because he is the incarnation of Adhisesha. He has been holding the Lord and being the bed of the Lord, the slipper of the Lord, the umbrella of the Lord. He's got direct personal touch. So he cannot agree. So Yadava Prakasha will even say Satyam, what is it? Anantam, Brahman. He will say, no, this is a wrong phrase. The Brahman is not Anantam, he is not like this. He doesn't have any qualities. The Supreme doesn't have any qualities because he is not a person. So Ramanujacharya will feel very uncomfortable. And one day he is doing seva to his guru, massaging him from the backside. That time Yadava Prakasha, his guru, will give explanation for a verse. What is it? Tasya yatha kasyapi. What is it? I forget the shloka. He will say that shloka he will say, and he will say that the Lord's face is like the backside of a monkey. He will give that explanation. Then Ramanuja, hot tears will fall from his eyes. What the explanation you are giving? Hot tears will fall on the shoulder of the thing. Then he will look at him and say, why? You don't know. He said, my dear Guruji, why you have to give such an explanation for the beautiful face of the Lord? This actually means his face is like a lotus. And he gave another explanation to the same verse, which was brilliant. He heard that and he understood that my student is giving much better explanation for this verse than me. He became an intellectual threat to that Yadava Prakasha. This fellow is too much, is too good. Because when he gave the explanation, he thought, yeah, that is a better explanation than monkey's bottom explanation. Naturally. So, in this way, Ramanuja feelingly, in a very personal way, whenever he explained, it was quite natural. And it was the best explanation. And everybody in the Gurukula also knew that is nice, it's appealing. Because all of us are personalists. All of us want love. We want to be loving and we want loved to be loved. That is personal requirements, relationships. So you very easily will gel with that idea that God is a person. I can have a loving relationship with God. That is natural for all of us. So you'll see the interpretation of the personalist, the personal explanation, Bhakti explanation, is most appealing to the soul. But mostly when you read, when you gather knowledge, you will tend to move towards Gyani, Gyan. Only knowledge is actually useless. Knowledge is not something so great. If it does not lead you to a personal relationship with the Lord, that knowledge will work against you in many ways. So therefore, what happened here, Yadav Prakasha became very disturbed by one thing, because he was a ordinary person, very great scholar, but he thought my disciple is a great threat to me. Actually, along with his other some few disciples, he decided to go on a yatra, take everybody in a yatra and push this Ramanuja into the Ganges, kill him. This was his plan. Fortunately, Ramanuja's mother, Kantimati's sister, she also had two sons. One of them was Govinda. He was also studying in the same Gurukula, cousin of Ramanuja. He came and told to Ramanuja, Ramanuja, you run away from here. I heard from other boys and other people, they are planning to kill you. Like this. So in fear, he told his brother, go away from here. In the middle of the forest, in the yatra, they were going. Ramanuja ran into the forest in the night. Small boy. He ran, he fell down somewhere, some vines, some trees, and everything. Then somehow he came to a road lit by the moonlight, small pathway. In that pathway, a hunter, Vetekaran, along with his wife, and with a monkey sitting on his shoulder, pet monkey. He was talking with his wife, and he had a big bow and arrow, and he was walking. And this Ramanuja came in front of them. And seeing that, he said, hey, this young boy, what are you doing here? Ramanuja said that, no, I just lost my way in the forest. He did not tell my guru is trying to kill me and all that. I lost my way in the forest. Can you lead me? He said, yes, yes, come. And then Ramanuja, small boy, looked at both of them and said, you remind me of Rama with the bow and the arrow. You remind me of, oh gosh, that's the end of the story. Wow, wow. इसको open करो, open this window, door. சொல்லிட்டாங்க ஏன்னா மழை வருது Huh? Hunter did what? Ah. So Ramanuja told him, you looking like Ramachandra and your wife is looking like Sita and this monkey is like Hanuman. Pet monkey running around here, there. So this hunter smiled. Who is Rama? He said. You don't know Rama? Ramanuja was so thrilled. You don't know Rama? No, can you tell us about Rama? I'll tell you. And then they were walking together. He told Ramayana very beautifully. This young boy in the middle of the forest on a moonlit night, they are walking together. Rama, son of Dasharatha, he started. The whole Ramayana he spoke all along. And he was enjoying it very much, this hunter. Beautiful, wonderful. And Sita was also saying, then what happened to Sita? Then did everything she was asking question and he was saying so beautifully, very nicely he mentioned. They were absorbed in the story and Ramanuja also was very absorbed. Then it was almost becoming sunrise. Then this lady said, I am actually very tired. We have been walking for a very long time. Can I sit down here? Can I get some water? She's telling her husband. And the husband is saying, yes, both of you wait here, I'll get water. Ramanuja said, no, both of you wait here, I will get the water. You are elder to me. And in this way, he made them sit there and he took his kamandalu and he said, I'll get water. Please sit here under this tree. Then he went nearby and he looked around. Then he saw a nice place, city, small village, and people were taking water from the well. So he went there and said, can I get some water? Oh, small boy filled up. He said, what is this place? Then they told him, this is Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram. I went for a long yatra away, long back from Kanchipuram. So many days over. All of a sudden I am back in Kanchipuram in no time. Over just, he was thinking like that and he came back with the water to under the tree. Nobody is there. They both disappeared. So you say, it's very strange. I saw them and they were thirsty. I brought this water. And then he said, he was thinking and he thought, this must be the Lord's plan. He has brought me back to my place. So he went to Kanchipuram and he went to Varadaraja Perumal temple. There he met with Tirukachinambi. And in this way, his whole Leela started. He was going to him and asking him, Tirukachinambi was a very great speciality, he will fan the Lord, Varadaraja. Every day he will fan and he gave report about different devotees and ask questions for the sake of the devotees to the Lord, and the Lord will tell what to do, reply. Very intimate talk. So Ramanuja will hear about it and tell him, can you also ask him what seva I should do? I have heard so many things from you. I must be in some seva. Can you ask him what seva I can do? So he will say, yes, I will ask him. And in this way he will ask while fanning. You know, there is this boy Ramanuja, nice boy, introducing him to Varadaraja. But Varadaraja will start smiling as soon as he says Ramanuja. He will see a smile in the deity's face. Yeah, I know Ramanuja. I know Ramanuja. He has met me and he has asked me what seva he can do. You see, it's mentioned in the history that initially the Lord decided that this is Kali Yuga and people need instruction, they need to be told what to do, how bhakti can be performed. In this way, it seems he was lying down on Seshanaga and he tapped Seshanaga and said, I think you have to go to the world and teach them. It's a description given by the Acharyas. He tapped and he told, I think you have to go. Because in different yugas, in Treta Yuga he came as Lakshmana. And in Mahabharata you see he came as Balarama. And it is mentioned that in Kali Yuga, the Lord told him, you go and teach. You go and teach. So, he has appeared as Ramanuja, Adisesha. So therefore Varadaraja is saying, yeah, I know him. Which means that I only sent him. I know him. So tell him, he knows. You tell him that same well, he gives the name of the same well where he went to take water for this hunter and his wife. Tell him to bring water from that every day for me. He will understand that well. You don't have to worry. Which well and all he knows. You just tell him this particular, give the name of that well. And Ramanuja that day, because in the night he has gone to inquire, he will get up very early in the morning, 3 o'clock itself will be standing next to the door for Tirukachinambi to come out. Because today he will find out. And he will come and he will say, you are here already. Yes, I want to know, what did he say? The Lord told me this, that it seems you know that well. From that well you bring water from him. At that time it was a full confirmation to Ramanuja that in the middle of the forest it is Varadaraja and Lakshmi who came and saved him in the forest. And they heard Ramayana from him. The Lord himself, Rama himself heard Ramayana. Just like Lava and Kusha came and spoke Ramayana. And Ramachandra was very happy to hear it. Everybody was very happy. You will read that in Ramayana also, in the Uttara Ramayana. So Krishna himself can hear his own pastimes. Lord himself can hear his own pastimes and become thrilled. Katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Because today is Ramanujacharya's Avirbhavatiti, Ramanuja Jayanti. I thought I will tell you this, how Tirukachinambi, very great Acharya, is asking the Lord, and the Lord is tell him to get. He is speaking to the deity. Archa Vigraha is speaking. Personalists, especially the Vaishnava sect, they will relate with the absolute truth personally. Only then you can have Bhakti manifested. Bhakti is a relationship with the Lord. It's the highest type of relationship. All the different people who are spiritualists, out of all of them, the highest is the Bhakti Yogi. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo matah. Krishna is glorifying. My devotee is the topmost yogi. Why? Shraddhavan bhajate yoma. Same yukta uttama matah. He is the topmost. Uttama. Matah means it is my opinion. That my devotee is the topmost yogi. Of course, Krishna is adding the word my opinion. So that some foolish people can think, oh, it is God's opinion. I also can have an opinion. Yeah, if you want to. You'll go to hell with your own opinion. You can better accept God's opinion. Because although Krishna is saying mataha in many places, it's my opinion. You see, Rishibir Bahuda Gitam Chandobir Vividhai Pratak Brahma Sutra Padaischeva Hetumadbir Vinischitai. He explains that God, great rishis and sages have explained all this Hetu Matbir Vinischitai. Determinedly, but conclusively they have explained. He glorifies the sages and everybody. But then he also says, if you don't accept what I am telling you, most probably you will go off and you will spoil yourself. He says that also. If you don't listen to me, you will most probably spoil yourself. This instruction also he gives to Arjuna. I give you freedom. I don't interfere with your individuality. You can apply your choice. But unfortunately, I am the only person who can tell you the real truth because I am the truth. Mattah parataram na anyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mahi sarvamidam prottam sutre manigana eva. He is explaining, I am the absolute truth, I am the origin, I am the basis of everything. So I am telling you, easy for you to accept what I say. Although I am giving you my opinion very respectfully, so that I don't sound like I am actually invading your person, invading your individuality, spoiling your freedom. If you don't listen to me, you will be spoiled. Just like the father telling the son, Kanna, better for you to do this. I am telling you from my experience in life. I know what you are saying sounds very exciting to you. Your friends are doing that and all. But I think if you do this, you will become much more successful. A very well brought up child who has been taught properly will most probably tell, okay, father, I listen to you. My intuition, my intelligence tells me, whenever I have followed you, I have always got something good. I will follow you. In this way only Arjuna told Krishna also, Karishye vachanam tava. I will listen to what you have mentioned. Although I have many doubts and I have asked you many questions, Krishna finally told Arjuna, although he said it's my opinion, you can do what you want, he also was hoping that Arjuna will tell him favorably, yes father, I have understood, I'll follow you. This brings great satisfaction to the father. My son has understood. He will do the right thing. In this way, in the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna also, you will see that Arjuna will give full, complete understanding and full hearing, and then he understands properly and says, okay, Nashtamoha smritir labdha tvat prasadat maya achyuta stito asmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Very nicely he will explain. My doubts are all over. Sandeha. Stito asmi, I am situated properly. Karishye vachanam tava, I will do as you have spoken. I will do. So you imagine Krishna would have been very pleased. Appa, purinjirche ivarge. He is actually accepting out intelligently out of his own deliberation. So don't think Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna forced Arjuna to understand and Arjuna simply did what. No, his individuality was never spoiled. His individual. That is the greatness and great sophistication of the Supreme Lord. Don't interfere with your choice. That becomes a big problem for us. Why? We are used to being told by the government, by the authority, by everybody, Ida panda, do like this, and we are happy. You tell me what to do, I will do. Bulk of the people don't do independently thoughtful considerations. They are not taught how to do. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita teaches you how to be independently thoughtful and exercise that choice properly. That's why he used the word mataha, in my opinion, in many places in the Bhagavad Gita. He will say that, mataha. Like yoginam api sarvesham madgati nantaratmanah shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta uttama mataha. It is my opinion that my devotee is the greatest yogi. Whatever you may otherwise think, it's up to you. So it's better, to take the opinion of God. Yadava Prakasha, he had his own opinion based on his own reading, his own understanding. This is the danger of a Gyani's path. I have my own understanding. So in the Mahabharata it says, Tarko apratishta vibhinashutayo nasa vrishir yasya matam na binnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gatasapanta. Yudhishthira is being told that tarka apratishta. People will read the scripture, each one will have his own understanding and they will have argument. Apratishta, it has no foundation. Arguments are arguments. That's all. Will not get anything much out of it. Only one person will feel, I have won the argument. Another person will feel, you made me lose it, I'll get you next time. But it doesn't help them to realize the absolute truth. Tarko apratishta vibhinna shutayo. The Shruti, the Vedas is so vast. From where you will get the conclusion? Nasa vrishir yasya matam na bhinnam. Each rishi will give his own opinion. Matam, my own opinion. I think this is it. So, what is the real thing? Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. The solid truth of the Vedic literature is hidden in the heart of a pure devotee. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. Therefore, if you follow in their path, you will get the answer. On your own, you cannot get. This is how the Vedas are designed. The secret of bhakti is hidden inside the Vedas. The pure devotee who is a devotion of the Lord, he is revealed. He knows. So in this entire ocean, he knows how to swim and get the essence. Saram, samudritam. The saram of the saram he can give you. That's what is given in the Bhagavad Gita. So Ramanuja, he knew that. He is Adisesha. So Yadava Prakash is a Gyani. So in this way Ramanuja will become very great. He will travel everywhere. Many followers, disciples and everything. And Yadava Prakasha's mother will become Ramanuja's disciple. It's interesting. Aged mother. Then this person Yadav is still having a small Gurukula and still teaching God is impersonal, don't Satyam, Anantam, Brahman, no qualities and all that is teaching. But dry. They keep on talking this Brahman, very dry and very difficult, bland life. No excitement in Gyan after some time especially. So one day his mother told him, how long will you keep on teaching this? Don't think in your mind even now that Ramanuja is your disciple. You must understand that he is a very powerful person. He is very close to the Supreme. You must surrender to him. How can I do that? I am his Guru. You feel great pride, no? I am Yadava Prakasha. I have my own school. I have my own teaching, my own understanding. I have my own students. But Ramanuja has left him. When he was young itself, Yadav Prakasha knew this fellow is very different. The king of the place, when Ramanuja was still the disciple of Yadav Prakasha, the king of the place had his daughter haunted by a ghost, by a Brahma Rakshasa, very powerful Brahma Rakshasa. And the daughter was mad, running, jumping around. King does not know what to do. He called so many different mantravadis, that person, this person, everything. Nobody could drive. Exorcism did not happen. Very powerful Brahma Rakshasa. He said, no, I am not going to go so easily. I am waiting. What are you waiting for? I am waiting. He told the Raja, the girl is talking to the father, I am not leaving. I am waiting. For what are you waiting? I am waiting. So, the king will hear about Yadava Prakasha and his school. He'll call Yadava Prakasha. Yadava Panni Paranga. Yadava Prakasha will chant this mantra, that mantra and all that. That girl will get up and say, you sit down, bring your disciple. That Ramanuja is there. No. Tell him to put his feet on my head, I will leave this place. So king was very surprised. You got a disciple? Please bring him. He doesn't want to show Ramanuja. So the king will say, bring him. And Ramanuja is one of the disciples sitting there like that, very humbly. Nobody will notice him. Very humbly sitting. So Yadav Prakasha will tell him, come. He will get up and come, small steps, small boy. Then the king will say, put your feet on the head. She is asking for you. He'll put his feet. Whatever the elders say, I listen to. They'll put his feet on the girl's head. The Rakshasa will say, immediately, thank you. I am liberated. I got Ramanuja's lotus dust. This is the way to live. I am waiting for him only. In front of everybody, Yadav Prakasha was exposed. He, all his mantra, tantra and all that could not do anything. Just the touch of the feet of Ramanuja on that girl's head, the Rakshasa left. Why? Happily left. I got the mercy of Ramanuja. I am liberated. That time the king understood Ramanuja far, far, far higher. So from then on his fame grew and he became a great Acharya. Yadav Prakasha was where he was only, in his school teaching the same philosophy. Mother therefore told him, you very proud, you should go and surrender to Ramanuja. So he thought about it long time. I am also becoming aged. And what a great thing has happened in my life. Whole world is benefiting by Ramanuja. So he went to see Ramanuja. I paid obeisances to Ramanuja, held his feet, and he told him, accept me as your disciple. This is a very amazing thing. Guru turning around to the disciple and telling, I will become your disciple. This is the powerful Ramanuja. And he accepted him. And later Yadav Prakasha under him wrote a book also about sannyasa and all that. So this is the power of Ramanujacharya. Devotion. He came to teach how the Lord and the living entity are different. They are not same. How by service to the Supreme, Narayana, the Lord, one can achieve real liberation, right? And become very happy. So, when we see the deity of the Lord, we should know the Lord is personally present here. You must not think this is made of wood, this is made of stone, kallu potrukanga, idhila potrukanga, paranga. Materialistic eye you will see like that only. But actually, Krishna is standing here. He is standing for whom? For all of us. He has, by his mercy, Archa Vigraha Anugraha. He wants to give his mercy, like Prabhupada brilliantly said in that place, in the purport we read. He said that these are official, recognized post boxes. Inge vande, if you offer your this thing, it will go to the headquarters, to Vaikunta, to Goloka. The prayer you can put here, it will go there. But Prabhupada said, don't go to unauthorized post box and put your letter, it will not go. Or an imitation post box, simply that something looks red, you cannot put your letter inside. He's telling, it has to be authorized. The Lord is agreeable to come here and be served by his servants. Because the servants, the devotees say, we want to serve you in your Archa Vigraha form. So there is Prana Pratishta. The Lord is invited into this Vigraha and he is personally there. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nandana. You are not a statue. You are sakshat Krishna himself. So we don't say in our language, statue. We don't say. It's not idol worship. Wrong. It's deity worship. Deity means Archa Vigraha. Idol and deity is not the same. Idol you have on the roadside, Annadurai is idol also. Crow will sit down there and pass stool. Nobody worships that. Everywhere you have statue. Doesn't mean everything that is statue like is a Vigraha. No. That is imitation post box. So, authorized means every day the Lord is woken up, Mangalarati, continuously he is served and he accepts the service of the devotees, and in this way they develop a relationship with him. And their prayers are answered. The Lord enters their life. This is happening to many people here. Many people come, they pray to the Lord, they go around the Harinama Mandapam, they chant, and they develop a relationship. We don't know. We don't know. Krishna has got relationship with so many people. Some of them are able to come physically to the temple, some of them are not. They are keeping a picture of the Lord and they are telling, I saw you, this, and the Lord is reciprocating with them. It's a intimate relationship, personal relationship. This is what is the invitation in Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhava, mad bhaktaha, madhyaji mam namaskuru. Don't think this to be ordinary. Because of all this Western civilization and their interpretation and their thought, everything needs to be explained according to the Western thought. And now temple means there is energy coming out. There is a magnetic field coming out. Stupid. There is something greater than a magnetic field happening here. You don't have to explain everything according to science and Western ideology. This is another science, Bhakti. The Lord is sitting here. It's a fact. The devotees have faith. You don't have to interpret everything according to modern science, according to Western philosophy. There is a philosophy here. It's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavat. The deity has walked. You go to Puri, you'll see Sakshi Gopal Mandir. Walked all the way from Vrindavan to this place. Why? Because the devotee, he told, you see, in front of you only I told him that you are Sakshi to what he is saying. That elderly Brahmana got so pleased to this young Brahmana and said, I will give my daughter in marriage to you. You help me in my yatra. So the young Brahmana said, no, you don't have to make all these promises. I did not ask for it. You are a devotee, I want to do seva for you. You are struggling. I did some seva for that. You don't have to give me all this thing. No, I am so pleased with you. Why you are making all these promises? You are a Brahmana, you will not be able to keep it up. When you go home, your wife will shout at you, son will shout at you, your daughter cannot be given in marriage to me. This is going to happen. Why unnecessarily make all these promises? I am not asking for it. I am simply doing seva. I am not expecting anything. He said, no. See, I am afraid you are a Brahmana. You should uphold your words. You will not be able to. You are an old man. He said, no. Okay. Please don't make your words come untrue. Gopal is Sakshi. And in front of Gopal you are telling it. Okay? He said, yes. Gopal is Sakshi. And he went home, so thrilled with his yatra. And he told all the things that happened in the yatra. Then he told, I made this promise to this boy. His son took a stick and said at his father, how dare you make a promise to some Brahmana somewhere on the roadside? You think my sister is going to get married to her? I'll finish him if he comes here. His wife also said, I don't agree. Who knows who he is, what he is? Who asked you to make promise without asking us? Then he came to know what that boy said is correct. Vishu, what shall I do? My family members will finish me. The boy came at the right time to the village and he said, you have made the promise. It is time for me to get married. So therefore my father told, and I told, I have made a promise like this he has made to me. Let me go and check up there. And I have come here. It's time for me to get married. The father immediately said, I did not make any promise. Because his mother and brother, I did not make any promise. The son was waiting with the stick. If you do, I'll beat you. So he had to tell a lie. So this boy said, it's not correct. I told you that day, if you don't keep up your word, as a Brahmana, you'll suffer a lot. I don't like to see you suffer. You made this word. And then he told everybody, neighbors and all, he's telling lies. He's afraid of his wife and this. So they all said, big gossip in the village, and they called the panchayat. They had a big discussion. He said, no, this Brahmana, I helped him and he promised me, I tell you, in front of Gopal, he said, Gopal is Sakshi. So the panchayat told, you go bring Gopal. You go bring Gopal, then we will do. And everybody was thinking, how can he bring Gopal? Gopal is a deity. He's a stone deity, big deity. How can he bring? This boy said, okay, I'll bring Gopal. He is not thinking like them. He is thinking Gopal will come. Because in his mind, Krishna only. The deity is Krishna only. He went all the way walking back. He went there and he told Gopal, paid obeisance and said, you remember the day I told in front of him? Don't make promise. He made promise. Now I am going. He is telling no. You are Sakshi. You are witness. You come. He told, you come. So the deity
Didn't speak for a long time. He said, come, you must come. You are Sakshi. Then the deity spoke to him and told, my dear devotee, Brahmana, I am a deity. I cannot walk. Supposed to stay in the temple. Then he said, you are a deity. How are you talking? If you can talk, you can walk. He told Gopal, how are you talking if you are a deity? If you can talk, you can walk. He defeated the argument. Gopal was defeated by his devotee. Then he said, okay, if you say so, I have to come. Because you have argued with me and I have lost the argument. Because you said, if you can talk, you can walk. So he said, I'll come with you, but you should not turn back. If you turn back, I'll stand in that place. In this way, he walked with the deity behind. He told, how will I know you are coming behind? You will cheat me. He said, no, you will hear my kolusu, my anklets. Ching, chick, I'm walking and coming. No, you will hear. Throughout, he was talking to Gopal and not turning his head back and coming. And Gopal was talking to him. Ching, 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 sound also coming. When he arrived near the village, the sound stopped. Then he said, Gopal, are you there? Are you there? No sound. Then he turned back, right behind only Gopal stand. He told him, I will stand here only now. I will not move from here. You go get the villages from there. It's nearby. Call them. He ran down from the hill, went and told them, I have brought Gopal. What? He's there standing on the hill. Please come. Call the panchayat. The whole village went there. And Gopal told them, correct. What this Brahmana is saying is 100% correct. He made promise. He's afraid of this. Everybody was so thrilled. They paid obeisances to Gopal. They got him married, this boy, to that girl. So don't think this is simply statue. Don't come here and think, ஒரு பழம் கொடுக்கலாம், கொஞ்சம் ஹுண்டியில் போட்டேன், அப்பா ஹுண்டியில் காசு போட்டிருக்கேன், ப்ளீஸ் என்னுடைய ஆசையெல்லாம் ப்ளீஸ். You know this mechanical official way, that is not very conducive for bhakti. Of course, it is definitely better than not doing anything. But God is waiting here to create a relationship with you. He wants to have a relationship with you. You must understand that. Whenever you come here, as often as you can come here, you offer a very feeling relationship prayer to the Lord. That's what you must do. Then your bhakti will grow. This is 100% fact. Today is Ramanuja Tithi, and Ramanuja, he was told by Varadaraja that well he knows, tell him to bring water from there. The same water which he wanted to give me and I did not drink, now I will drink. As a hunter I came and he could not give me that water. Every day he can give me from that well. I'll drink. Not only me, give to Lakshmi also. She'll be very happy to drink. This way Ramanuja did the seva for the deity, bringing the water. Simple seva, but feelingly, with a lot of love, with a relationship. So, patram phalam toyam pushpam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanah. Krishna is telling in the Bhagavad Gita, everywhere he will make this personal statement. If you offer me with love and devotion a fruit, a leaf, a flower, some little water, enough for me, I will accept it. I will accept it. He's waiting. What a offer. Chinnaidu. I'm not even asking big feast. Patram phalam, oru leaf, oru tulsi leaf. Like one lady, I spoke this once here, went immediately and plucked a flower from the temple's garden only and came and kept it here. Then I said, this is very good that you have done, but tomorrow you must spend your own money and get flower, not from Jagannath's garden here. You understood correctly? Correct. இல்லைண்ணா சாமி அதை நீங்கள் சொல்லியிருக்கீங்கன்னு சொல்லி இங்கேருந்து பறிக்காதீங்க, நீங்கள் உங்கள் வீட்டிலேருந்து பறிச்சிட்டு வாங்க, உங்கள் கார்டனில் இருக்குல்ல, you bring from there. That is even more valuable. That is even out of your own effort you bring. This we are already growing for Jagannath here. It's temple's garden. It's good. But next step for you is this. She started bringing, of course, the tendency to do and listen, establishing a relationship, a personal relationship with God. He's asking for it. That is why the whole Bhagavad Gita is actually a love story. It is the highest type of romance, the romance of the conditioned soul, re-established with the Supreme Lord. That's why it's so exciting. Actually, falling in love with the next door girl and writing letters to her are very exciting. But I can tell you there will be millions of times more exciting when you start your love affair with Krishna. It's called Bhakti. The conditioned soul become excited like nothing. That is why you will see some of the statements made by the devotees. I don't care whatever people say. I am in love with Krishna. I don't want anything else. Let them say what they want. In this way you will see, once you fall in love with the Lord, life completely changes. This is success in life. Ramanuja Acharya taught us how to do that. To establish a loving servitor relationship with the Lord. So today we are indebted to Ramanuja Acharya, and all these great personalities have guided human society, teaching them the essence of the Shastra. It's not so easy for us to study the Shastra on your own. How to understand it, how to apply it. Different acharyas come according to time, place and circumstances, and they teach us how to apply these instructions. That is the scintillating portion, most important aspect. Everybody can read the Shastra and then like patches of it here and there and all that. But how to follow it practically in your life? So Ramanuja, he appeared in 1017 AD in the 11th century, and he performed amazing feats and broke open a new area and gave us Bhakti, how to perform it. And there are so many leelas of Ramanuja, we don't have time to discuss everything. But today we can lovingly, in memory, offer our prayers to Ramanuja. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody have any questions, any comments? Okay, we profusely thank His Holiness Bhakti Vinoda Maharaj. Today, Hare Krishna, today Sunday feast, Prashant sponsored by His Grace, Sri Harinam Prabhu and his family. இன்றைய ஞாயிறு விருந்தின் சிறப்பு பிரசாதம் உபயதாரர்கள் உயர்திரு ஸ்ரீ ஹரிநாம் பிரபு அண்ட் குடும்பத்தார்கள், அவர்களை இங்கே முன்வருமாறு தாழ்மையோடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா. வருகின்ற உற்சவங்கள் குறித்த அறிவிப்பு. வருகின்ற 22ஆம் தேதி நாமெல்லாம் அனைவரும் அறிந்தது போல் பகவான் கிருஷ்ணனுடைய அற்புத ரூபமான பகவான் நரசிம்மர் தோன்றிய தினம்.